Thursday, November the 11th of 2025, and in Canada, it is Remembrance Day, wherein the similarity is like Veterans Day in the US. I was curious personally in reference to the history of Remembrance Day, how it started, some fun facts about it. So I just simply went on to YouTube and Googled a few questions that I had. And if you're interested in a little bit of history here and there, a little appreciation there and there. Okay, so after the Second World War, many Commonwealth countries changed the focus of the day to commemorate all service members who died in all wars and conflicts, not just the First World War. Why do they say not just? Not the First World War. Not only the First World War. The name Remembrance Day became the standard across the Commonwealth, while the United States renamed the holiday Veterans Day in 1984. Today, the red poppy is widely worn as a symbol of remembrance inspired by the poem In Flanders Field by Canadian physician Lieutenant Colonel John McCree, which noted the poppies growing on the battlefield of the Western Front. Okay, so the Act of 1921 placed the event on a statutory footing, but controversially combined it with Thanksgiving Day, which was held on the Monday or the week in which November 11th. The arrangement led to minimal public recognition of the day throughout the 1920s. Due to pressure from veterans and the public, the Canadian Parliament amended the Act in 1931. The name was changed from that day to Remembrance Day, and its observance was fixed specifically on November 11th, separate from the movable Thanksgiving holiday. I didn't know any of this. So, November 11th, 1919. 1 year later, King George V of the United Kingdom called for a day of remembrance across the British Empire to honor those who died in the war. The official observance, originally called, I can't pronounce that, included national ceremonies and 2 minute silence at 11 a.m. You know, the Commonwealth, they're always in Canadians, they're in our business. Major hostilities of the First World War formally endured at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918, when was signed by representatives of Germany and the Allies, France. The first commemoration, November the 11th of 1919, 1 year later. Okay, we did that. We spoke of that. What's here? The first American Day was observed through the British on the second Monday of November, was established by King George. Ping George, 1921. First Monday of the week, November 11th. That's interesting. I did not know any of that. You know, I was looking at some strategies on how to pray, how to compartmentalize my beliefs, because honestly, Since Charlie Kirk passed, I've been spending a lot of time thinking about my faith. This is not the time for me to think about my faith. This is the time for me to turn off the live. I wanted to unwrap a little bit about the history of Remembrance Day, and that is a wrap. So get your poppy, donate some money to the veterans, and remember, no matter what you're going through in life, good, smooth, content, difficult, think of our ancestors. Without all of the people before us, there wouldn't be us. And that's why every Monday I catch up from the news the week prior on the internet. The 24-hour news cycle doesn't even give people enough time to think critically because everybody's jumping off to the next story, the next whatever. I think that we need to have a little more patience and this instant gratification of YouTube and clicks and ding da ding da ding. We need to absolve ourselves from this petty material world we live in and wake the F up. And today is the best day to do that. And remember that this originally was not ours. And we're lucky to be here. Happy Remembrance Day, everybody. And be blessed for what you have. I know I am. I remind myself every day. Okay, take care.